Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another weekly Wellness Watch. I'm Lindsay Forrest, and I'm going to talk to you today about the difference between perfectionism and excellence. During this time of social distancing and online learning, there have been so many parents and students who have come to me and said, I'm really struggling because I'm overwhelmed and I just can't get the work done and I don't know how to do this or I don't know how to do that, and things that were usually very simple to me are very difficult now, and I'm just feeling really frustrated and like I'm failing. I'm here to tell you, you're not failing. That is a normal occurrence. That is a normal way to feel when there's such giant changes such as this, especially if your child is a perfectionist. What is a perfectionist? First of all, there are two different definitions of what perfectionism can look like. The first type of perfectionism is acquired by excellence seekers. These are people who push themselves because of their intrinsic motivation to achieve great things. This is a type of perfectionism that comes from the inside outward. I want to do really well on my test because I feel like it's important. This type of healthy perfectionism is actually really good, and it's associated with a growth mindset. I want to do really good on this text because I want to learn more, right? The second type is acquired by someone who strives for perfection in order to avoid judgment or appear perfect to others. This type of perfectionism is associated with a fixed mindset, and it causes people to be self-critical, anxious, and quick to give up. This type of perfectionism comes from the outside in, from feeling whether a very real or perceived notion that they have to reach a certain standard, and if they don't reach that standard, they fail completely. That idea that if you're not first, you're last. So how can we help our children work towards achieving excellence and not being stuck thriving for perfection? First, we must know the difference between excellence and perfection. Excellence exudes confidence, it's focused on learning, it's inspiring, it's self-motivating, and it has a growth mindset. It's all about growing into the next chapter or into the next phase. Perfection is a fear of failure. It's about finding the mistakes. It's very demoralizing, it can be self-critical, and it's really focused on a fixed mindset. I have to reach this point. There's no other option. There are no other choices. It has to be this way. So what sort of things can we do to try and motivate this sense of excellence and trying to strive for excellence and not strive for perfection? I want to share with you just a few simple steps that you can take to help your child develop this sense of excellency, this sense of intrinsic motivation, as opposed to fearing not being perfect. The first step is we're going to encourage high standards, not perfection. Avoiding using the word perfect altogether. Cut it out of your vocabulary. It's very judgmental, and it can be very damaging towards a child's self-esteem if they don't reach that standard. Help your child set goals and standards that are reachable with effort. So they're going to have to reach a standard that they have to work towards. So we don't want to set the bar so low that they're not doing any work on their own, that they're not challenged. The second step is we're going to teach your child the power of the word yet. Such a small word, 3 little letters, Y-E-T, can make a mountain of difference when we're teaching children about excellency. Add yet to a child's I can't. Whenever your child comes to you and says, I can't finish this work, yet. I can't read this book, yet. I can't do this type of math work, yet. Take 3 steps. Ask them to create a draft. Acknowledge what they did well and provide specific feedback for improvement. When you create this draft of what yet looks like, you want to say, okay, let's work this out together. Write down, I can't do this math problem yet. And then write underneath it steps. I can't do this math problem yet because I don't know how to add these numbers. So we're going to work on that as our first goal, learn how to add these numbers. And then once we add these numbers, we're going to say, okay, I don't know how to put the quotations in the right place. So we're going to learn how to do that. And then maybe I don't know what X equals or where to even put X on the page. So we're going to learn how to do that. take steps that they can check off, that they can achieve in smaller chunks. The same with writing assignments, the same with online learning. When they say, I can't do this online learning, say, I can't do this online learning yet. Let's make a plan together. What things are you struggling with? What can I help you with? The third thing that I want you to do is be an example of someone who's not perfect. When we make mistakes, as we all do, model that imperfection to your kids. Be able to talk to them about what went wrong. If you're struggling, maybe you're sitting there saying, okay guys, we have to do all these things in the day. We have this many Zoom meetings with your teachers. I have to work. I can't figure out how to do this schedule yet. Let's work on it together. What things can you guys do? What things can I do to help make this better? Work out the problem together. Let them see that you're not perfect either. Now, I'm not saying ask your kids for every advice of everything and putting them in a role of a parent. I'm saying give them opportunities to see you not be perfect. Let them see your failure as an area of growth. Okay? If you make a mistake, apologize. If you do something wrong, admit it. It's very simple and it'll make the world of a difference to a child who's struggling with perfectionism. The fourth thing that we're going to look at is emphasizing the fun. These are kids, whether they're 18, 14, 5, or 12, they're kids. And we need to emphasize the enjoyment of learning. Asking simple questions like, what was the funnest part of your day? Instead of, did you get everything accomplished? Asking, what part of your day made you the most excited? Instead of saying, what was the most difficult thing you did today? Putting the emphasis on the fun things, on the positive things, on the things that they achieved will change their perspective from the perfectionist looking for the things that they didn't achieve, the boxes they didn't mark off, to being a child who's seeking excellence and enjoyment of what they're learning. The last thing that we can do is recognize negative thoughts. I'm going to teach you a balloon technique to use with your kids to let go of self-critical thoughts. So the balloon game is so simple. All you're going to do is tell your child to catch that negative thought and literally catch it and then blow it into a balloon and let it go. When you release that balloon, it's going to fly away and it's going to be replaced with a positive affirmation. So, for example, I'm going to take that negative thought of I'm never going to be able to reach all of my assignments in one day. I'm going to blow it up. I'm going to let it go. And I'm going to say, you know what? I did the best that I could today. I may not have reached all my goals, but I did my very best. And I learned some things. You're going to have to work with your kids on this. You're going to have to give them ideas of what that positive affirmation may be. Then we want to look at just a few simple strategies that might help improve your day-to-day. So all of the strategies we talked about up to this point are very large, long-term strategies. You'll see them working in place after various time, after you continue to work through this issue of perfectionism with your child. But what can you do in the short term? One of the things is build in downtime. Make sure your children are taking breaks. Make sure that they are breathing, that they are not so focused at the task on hand that they forget that they're kids and they need to play and they need to rest and they need to watch movies and they need to do other things that kids do, talk to friends. Demonstrate unconditional love. No matter what grade your child gets, no matter what assignments they miss, show them that you love them. Ensure that your child knows that your love is not conditional on what their performance looks like. A lot of times we as parents think we're doing this, but in reality our children feel like the only time they're loved is when they're doing things right. This encourages that perfectionist thought process. So make sure your kid knows, hey, I saw you doing your very best and I love you just for being you. Be mindful of your own criticism. What are some of the things that you've criticized your child for that may have caused a permanent thought process or core belief in your child? If you tell a child that they're not good enough, once, twice, 10 times every day, the child's going to believe they're not good enough. If you tell a child that they may have a learning disability and that disability is holding them back, eventually they're going to think that learning disability is holding them back, whether it's truth or not. Be very mindful of how you criticize your child and others around them. Be supportive. Ask your child what they need in order to achieve what they want. Maybe they need more sleep. Maybe they need help from you. Maybe they need more downtime. Ask your child what they need. Even at very young ages, children are very perceptive as to what they need. They may not be able to tell you what other people need or how other people see things, but they're very perceptive to their own needs. And then talk about learning from mistakes. This is crucial. Remind your child over and over and over again so you're blue in the face that everyone makes mistakes. Parents make mistakes. Teachers make mistakes. Miss Lindsay makes mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, and it's okay. We need to learn from our mistakes and keep going. The more mistakes we make, the more we learn. So it's okay. With all of that being said, the biggest thing you can do, the one takeaway I want to encourage you to do, is to encourage your kid that they're not looking for perfection, that you're not expecting perfection, that their teachers are not expecting perfection, that the world is not expecting perfection from them. What they're expecting, and what we're all expecting, is that they do their best, they try their hardest, that they enjoy being a kid, and that they become excellence seekers instead of perfectionists. I hope this helps you guys as we go through this process of distance learning and as we go into the next school year in helping to encourage your child in being an excellent seeker.